Ida B. Wells, an African-American journalist, advocate, and feminist. She broke the barriers of women not being treated equal to men and racism. She showed people that she is not afraid to stand up for what is right, and she would do whatever it takes to make it that way. Not only was she a wonderful caretaker in person, but she was also a fighter and a risk taker. It was not very hard to find her because of all the work she did for this world.
Ida B. Wells was born a slave, and when she wasn't much older, she knew this was not how she wanted to live. Growing up in Mississippi, she had to face many racial things and was restricted to do much. When she was in college, she had to quickly drop out because of a very heartbreaking tragedy. Both her parents and one of her siblings died because of yellow fever, which left her to take care of her siblings all by herself. In those very long years of taking care of her brothers and sisters, she decided that it was unfair to be treated differently than everyone else. So she became an activist at the young age of 28. Wells started to write more about how unfair it was and the issues about racism. Soon she became the owner of Memphis Free Speech and Headlight, and later Free Speech. When she bought a first-class ticket on a train, they refused to let her on, and she was outraged. She refused on principle. So she was forced off the train, and she bit one of the guys in the hand very hard. After that, she sued the railroad company. While she worked as a journalist and an activist, she was also a teacher at a segregating school. She became a vocal critic of the condition of blacks-only school in the city. In 1891, she was fired from her job for these attacks. She championed others because of the murder of a friend and 2 business associates. She started working on anti-lynching in 1892.
Wells documented lynching in the United States through her book called Silent Horrors. Lynch Law in all its phases investigated frequent claims of whites that lynching were reserved for black criminals only. When she started working on anti-lynching, many people started to threaten her. One threat got so bad she was forced to move out of Mississippi to Chicago, Illinois. Not much that later, she decided to join another African Americans to help fight for their problems too. In 1895, Wells Barnett married famed African American lawyer Fernand Barnett. Together, the couple had 4 children. Throughout her career, Wells Barnett balanced motherhood with her activism. Since she didn't have much time to be an activist, she started speaking up to white girls who ignored lynching. Most of the time she was threatened and hated on, but that didn't stop her. She loved what she was doing, and people started to look up to her. She soon became a founder of the National Assassination Colored Women's Club, which was created to address issues dealing with the civil rights and women's suffrage. After that, she made everyone realize that what they were doing was wrong, and they started to listen to her. This is how Ida B. Wells helped African Americans step by step.
A couple of Ida B. Wells' quotes were, "The way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon them. One had better die fighting against injustice than die like a dog or rat in a trap. The only times an African American who was assaulted got away has been when he had a gun and used it in self-defense." Just like most famous activists, Ida B. Wells didn't really get looked at or even super duper recognized until after she died. She did fight and she never stopped. Now everything she did paid off, and no one can forget that. Ida B. Wells died in Chicago, Illinois, March 25th, 1931. She was an absolutely amazing person, and we are super grateful that she did what she knew was right.